doing that. Apparently, Jack, #1 in goals per game, getting 1.21, but right on his heels, his first killer at 1.15. And you know, my friend, I am just excited to sit back and watch these teams go blow for blow.
Both players and apparently Jack, first killer, certainly having big days today, and no better time to do it. Overall, both teams scoring just over 2.6 goals per game and shooting around 30%. We shall see who comes out on top in a single best of 7. First killer into the corner. Apparently Jack with a little bit of time now. Trying to slow down pace of play with the air dribble around Sipical. Sipical been playing quite well in terms of put away potential. Missed, of course, really solidifying on the defensive side today. And trying to put one down. Apparently Jack going to turn that aside.
Yeah, I think Sipical's been playing out of his mind this weekend. You saw that #1 top play from yesterday where he hit that insane redirect out of the corner, flip reset. I mean, you can tag so many things just to that one play, but he's been so well known for consistency throughout his career, and last season is where it kind of started to hit a little bit of a hurdle, and I want to see in the grand finals now, will he maintain that consistency throughout?
And Gen.G trying to find a way past the midfield line. They're kind of getting into that final third, but struggling to hang on to the ball once they get there. Apparently Jack finally having to just dump the ball down so they can grab some boost and maybe find a way through there. A little hesitation means Typical comes through with a clear. Chronic is going to need a lot of help if they want to score this one. First killer takes a great line to it. Nolly off the wall, just missing the redirect himself. Nipped over the first killer and missed. Has some time to grab some boost. Missed killer one on missed killer. First killer 1-on-2 against Gen.G.
They're combining into one right now, Achieves.
I would be terrified. You've just performed the best performing offensive player on FaZe with one of the best defenders in North America. Thankfully for Gen.G, that is not the case, as Chronic pressing forward. Missed to delay the push, and FaZe actually holding the shot lead despite seeming to get pushed back under their half more often than not. Gen.G really struggling to find anything out into the middle into scoreable positions. First killer. That's going to come all the way down, and he almost got the read.
Beautiful touch there from Chronic to get that one away from the FaZe players. Chronic, much needed touch there as well, but first killer a little too quick on that ball. And Chiefs, I want to know, are you as surprised as I am at how heavily favored FaZe Clan seems to be, at least with fans and with the desk, coming into this matchup, with given how well Gen.G played yesterday?
I'm not too surprised that a lot of people still think FaZe is going to win, for sure. If anything, the surprise is Gen.G. They even said they exceeded their own expectations. I think for me personally, I really quite like the Gen.G approach to the game, and while it has some downside to it in terms of maybe allowing a little too much pressure in general, they close down a lot of space and they really force you to beat them. So I'm not too surprised that FaZe Clan in and of itself has a bunch of fans that think they're going to win, because they've certainly been playing well enough to do it here today as they currently try and break down this Gen.G defense. As Nolly for free out of his own half. And for Chronic, bit of a stretch. They hit Typical. There's apparently Jack, and he just gets too high. Chronic can't post that one either. This needs a little bit of help, but it does work its way to safety.
Pressure mounting right now at the hand of Gen.G is apparently Jack. Just going to launch that one forward, but you see Chronic all the way back. He had to go back for a big boost pad and kind of relieve that pressure that they had built up. But here comes Gen.G back on the offensive front, and great demo from Typical to take Nolly out of midfield, and that allows that ball to go all the way down. Another demo from Mist on Nolly again. He's just getting bullied in the back half, but Nolly there for the touch, able to get this ball back to midfield, and as we wind things down, 50 seconds remain, still all knotted up.
First killer trying to get real aggressive, beautiful touch back down to Mist. Can he get over the top of everyone? First killer can't score it. Everybody misses on Gen.G and throws off the timing, so they end up getting a free clear. That could have been the dagger for first killer. Unfortunately, everybody coming up short as Mist unsupported there in the midfield. Means 25 seconds left. Overtime looming.
You guys are playing so fast right now, and apparently Jack might have had an opportunity to fire that one out of net, but Alexa just rotate back, let Chronic go up in the air, and 10 seconds to go here. Jack gets the steal in the corner, but Mist clears things out. Gen.G playing so spread out. Apparently, Jack, big touch, trying to keep this ball alive. End it here in game number 1, and with that ball hitting the ground, overtime to be had here in our grand finals.
I do kind of like Gen.G going for some of those shakeups and timing as they approach the ball on offense a little bit. See if they can catch FaZe jumping at something they shouldn't. As First Killer threw a couple down to Mist. That one's going to find its way in. First Killer manages a challenge beautifully to get this one out into the middle.
And pressure right out of the gates here in overtime. But a great drop down pass from Typical, top of the box. And Mist just keeps that one nice and low and finds the opening, and FaZe Clan take game number 1.
Big goal for FaZe Clan, and what a way to do it as well. It definitely was going to take something like that, it felt like. They were kind of getting half chances and sort of shots just ricocheting around the corners, getting registered, and that's why you end up with FaZe Clan with such a high shot total, but that one definitely orchestrated. Cannot doubt that there was an attempt on net there. And that was a perfect pass down to the middle for Mist to finish it off. First Killer jamming it up against the wall and not losing it back into the corner. But overall, Gen.G pretty stingy defensively, but you got to be worried because finally you get pushed back enough times and you just can't hang.
Yeah, and for Gen.G, they've got to have a little more sustained offense, right? We got to see some flashes of brilliance, but for FaZe Clan, nothing that they haven't seen before and easily clearing that ball away. But they've got to do something because I don't think that they're going to counterattack FaZe Clan. FaZe Clan is just too good in the rotations right now, and honestly, too fast to be taken advantage of like that.
They don't mind having that one deep back rotation, that's for sure. It does give them a lot of flexibility, or at least a little bit of leeway in terms of trust, because you can throw pretty much anyone back there for First Killer, and you'd feel pretty confident in a one-on-one, and at least decent in a one-on-two, depending on the situation. There is something to be said about FaZe picking up Mist and really leveling up their defensive potential. As Nolly down to Chronic. That one's probably needing to go in there. Unfortunately, just got around it a little too much.
Very close shot there, but you got to be on the mark, just like Typical is with this one. Runs the length of the field, and FaZe Clan up early.
Everyone questioning Typical. He got roster swapped, found a home in FaZe, and he's starting off this season with a bang. Couple of beautiful shots now, receiving the long pass, delivering a big strike to put them out in front in game 2 as well. Nolly uncontested here in the midfield. Not quite over Mist. There's apparently Jack close behind him, gets bumped off the ball. Good press from Typical to prevent the goal-scoring opportunity as Chronic gets up a little bit late. First Killer 1-on-2, just going to poke that towards net, and FaZe kind of needs a little space to reset themselves here.
And for FaZe fans around the globe, got to feel confident coming into this matchup. Already 2 goals on board, and First Killer not involved whatsoever. Good things to be had from Typical and Mist as Jack gets that one over to Chronic, and he puts it off of the post. A little too tight on that angle, but I love the idea there, and I love the unselfish play that we're seeing from Gen.G.
Yeah, great approach from Chronic, to be honest. Yeah, it looks bad because it goes off the post, but he knew that clear was headed all the way across the net, was trying to get out in front of it, jam it home without any opportunity to save the second chance. Unfortunately, just ticked wide. Nolly cannot get the redirect with apparently Jack. Typical coming out of the corner makes another save, and that's 3 balls on the goal line for Gen.G that haven't found the back.
And I'm pretty sure he did that without boost as well, Achieves, or very limited. Very impressive stuff coming out from FaZe, really showing their dominance so far in North America. In this fall open is Gen.G trying to get a hand at offense here. They have come out and been putting a ton of shots on target for the first 2 minutes, already 5 on target. When you look over at FaZe Clan, only 1, but that one, they made it count.
Okay, I like the idea of First Killer 1-on-1 all the way to the back post, and he saw it coming, dove early, didn't hesitate or get tied up thinking he needs to defend the middle or the near side. Just went all the way to the cross, knowing that his teammate was going to be there to defend. Mist steals the ball away, puts one on target. Nolly gets beat. FaZe is up 2.
He's just too good. Too fast to get to this ball. A misplay there from apparently Jack, and Mist just beats Chronic to that ball. And FaZe Clan soaking up every little mistake that Gen.G's making.
Put the hands up if you're apparently Jack there. Definitely a little frustrated.
Another?
As first killer on the kickoff. Oh, a disaster in game 2 now. It felt like even being down 2, half the game left, you're still within striking distance, but a cheeky redirect from Siffical, and now you're kind of sitting here scratching your head like, well, I guess we're going to be down 2. It's a long way back to find 3 and 2.5.
Well, not what you want to do for Gen.G. Obviously, give up a goal, but you don't want to give an easy one up to first killer when you've been doing such a good job at denying him his shots and goals. You just allow him to see that ball, find the back, and I don't know what's going on. All 3 members of FaZe Clan going up, getting that touch.
I mean, they had the 1-on-2 transition on the kickoff against Mist. This one goes off the backboard, totally uncontested for apparently Jack, and not good enough. The play takes too long to develop, and FaZe has time to recover. That's what now? 5 chances on net where you felt reasonably confident in Gen.G's chances. FaZe Clan defense working overtime in game 2, and it's paying dividends here as they refuse to give even an inch back.
Yeah, Gen.G, well, they might be on defense a little bit here in game number 2. Still not one save on any of the shots that have come out from FaZe Clan. And when you look over at FaZe, yeah, they've given up a lot of shots, but they've had 5 saves to boot. So great defense, great redirect. Love this pass upfield. The outlet is found, and first killer hammers it home.
So you're not going to see that on the replay, but apparently Jack and Chronic, they got tangled up in front of the orange net when that ball was challenged by their teammate. I mean, they were trying to rotate back, and as one went for the challenge, he landed on the other guy trying to rotate out, and that's why nobody is back in time for Gen.G to stop 4 from going in. Worst case scenario with the Gen.G rotation right there. Cost them 4 and gonna put game 2 on ice.
Oh, not the
Nothing to do now but Gen.G except be frustrated that you've had such good chances on net and been unable to convert. Dumped down to the middle, apparently Jack off the post, and you still can't find one.
The drought continues for Gen.G in this series. Still shut out. FaZe Clan seemingly can do nothing wrong as the final minute is coming in this one, and you can basically count out Gen.G. They're going to go down 2-0. But can they just get 1 to go? A feel-good saying, okay, that net isn't invincible as first killer keeps that one out. I don't think it was on target, but no one there for the cleanup for Gen.G either.
Reminds you of the Optic Space Station series yesterday.
Right.
Where Optic pressing so hard, getting a lot of great looks on net, and just for whatever reason, be it the post, the crossbar, someone making a big save, could not find it all the way home. And that is what game 2 has amounted to for Gen.G here. Beautiful display. Crushing in terms of the shot differential. 8-4, and nothing to show for it with 4 goals for FaZe Clan.
And great performance throughout 2 games so far for FaZe Clan. But Gen.G, I can almost guarantee you, gonna take a timeout here because game 1 was pretty horrendous from them. Yeah, they did bring it into overtime, but not a lot of shots on target. And then you turn the tables into this one, get a ton of shots on target, but no saves to boot. So Gen.G is going to take that time out here in the grand finals of the Fall Open. They're down 2-0, and Achieves, they've got a lot to talk about right now.
Yeah, I think that's actually the right way to phrase it. A lot to talk about. It's good to see them smiling and having a good time. That shows that they're definitely not super rattled. I think they know it's a small adjustment. All right, we had a lot of good shots there. It's just a matter of putting them in. That's one problem that they know they can solve.
They're sleeping on them. They're sleeping on them.
They went for the clip.
And even the Octane has its lights dimmed down. They're all sleeping. You love to see it. You love to see it. And while we talk about FaZe Clan, we've brought up Mist a lot and the great things that he brings to the pitch offensively and specifically defensively. He is just a brick wall back there. But you can't bring up FaZe Clan without bringing up Raul, Roldiz, and all of the great things he has done as their coach. Because yes, you can come in with specific game plans for teams and specific things you want your team to practice on. But what he has done for their morale, I think, is the most important thing overall.
Always, tier teams are glad to have a stabilizing presence. That does definitely seem to be something that Raul has brought to them over on FaZe Clan. And your Gen.G kind of sitting here thinking, okay, shots are one thing. The other problem is it's not even just missed on defense. I mean, typically seeing him dive back from the midfield because he can just tell that his teammates are going to be in a bad spot, and he's actually going to have the best look at a clear in some of those spots. And
I like
just
this next
making you
goal
scratch
coming
your
up
head.
if they show it. Where is it? Come on. This one right here. Absolute precision from first
It didn't
killer.
even come off weak either.
No, not at all.
Off the wheels, but still the power. That's good.
Very good. As this timeout winds down, I'm very interested to see what changes Gen.G are going to come right out of the kickoff with, because I think it's very important to come out and make a statement early in game number 3 here. You got to obviously get a goal, but I would love to see it within the first 60 seconds.
Biggest thing, obviously, I think will be pressure, because you're right. First minute after you take the timeout, you'd like to see some of your adjustments paying dividends, as unfortunately Nolly was there for it, but apparently Jack got a little extra piece. This first killer, perfect half flip. Oh, saves the ball off the goal line, but this is exactly what I wanted if you're Gen.G. Even if you're not scoring, you're keeping the pressure, you're making the changes. That one's off the bar. I don't think it would have mattered. Looked like Mist had it covered up. Gen.G coming out storming and ripped on target. That one also off the crossbar.
Great transition from FaZe Clan saying, okay, you guys can come out with pressure, but you bring the pressure. We're going to bring it double so to you guys as first killer. Awkward touch there to slow it down, but works out in FaZe Clan's advantage as Chronic just has to try and launch that one to get it out of his own half. Apparently Jack going to push it back downfield, but it's the positioning that we were talking about earlier from FaZe Clan that we've seen such success from. You can't just go with those long clears downfield. Nice touch from Jack, but Mist screams that one downfield.
Apparently Jack really trying to hit him with the mix-ups in the approach. Thankfully FaZe ready and able to defend. Yes, just keeping things in the mix here. Doesn't really have a lot of support. That's more of a time-buying touch than anything else. As it will work out. First killer stretching towards the ceiling. Nolly definitely ready for that one. Demo going back the other way for apparently Jack. Chronic's on an air dribble. This one's going to come off the backboard. First killer with a free dribble. Definitely the right play to trap it there. No reason to press before your team is ready for you.
A nice touch there from Jack. Gets the bump, gets the catch, gets the carry, but can't push it through. Missed yet again, holding down the back line for FaZe Clan. And they continue to hold Gen.G scoreless.
Great saves from Sypical and first killer against the initial approach, and Mist, like you said, coming back from the midfield line to take that one away towards safety instead of having the ball keep bouncing around in the midfield. Mist pops one off the wall. Chronic is diving because he thinks Sypical is there. He ends up being right. Great awareness overall from Chronic on that save attempt. As we are about to reach halftime, and you can scratch your head if you're Gen.G. Flicked over to first killer. He's going to steal away the corner boost. Ball to Chronic, trying to throw up the change up at Sypical, and he sizes that one up beautifully.
You know, for Gen.G, I don't think it's a matter of scratching their heads, trying, hold the phone as this ball gets out. Nolly, a little breakaway, and bye-bye, see you later. Sypical deletes them, but I think they've been finding success with the changes from that timeout. It's just a matter of that accuracy, and how funny that we brought it up at the beginning of the series of the two best accuracies coming into the series, and Gen.G's has just been miserable this series.
Post, crossbar, post. It certainly felt like post, crossbar, big save, post, crossbar. There we go.
Sounds
that's
like you're inputting cheat codes to Rocket League. And maybe that's why Mist is so successful. He just continues to input those.
He's going to make another stop here in the midfield. Chronic one-on-one against Sypical. He's equal to the task. Taking this one down gently to prevent throwing it straight into the waiting arms of apparently Jack. Nolly towards his own corner.
Good bomb.
Got a piece of App Jack. Beautiful recovery, though. Back down into the orange corner. It only takes one. Gen.G doesn't really care how much they win by as long as they get themselves back into the series. Sypical sticks them to the dartboard, and they'll give FaZe a lot of time here on defense.
Opportunity here for Chronic, but Sypical waiting on that backboard, turns that one away. Here comes Nolly, beats out first killer, missed awkward on this back wall, but great clear and better demo from first killer, opening up a lane. The shooting lane's wide open for Mist, and FaZe Clan strike first in game 3.
Chronic turned into smoke in the midfield and just hoping he could respawn. Everybody else caught too far forward. Unfortunate happenstance for Gen.G. Down one again. 64 seconds to work with. And again, they're leading in the overall shots. Got 7 to 5. Nolly 1-on-1, and First Killer just stares him down, says, "You won't do it." And he was right.
Almost daring him. I dare you to try and do it. As the demo comes out from Mist. Aggression all over the field from FaZe Clan as Chronic spawns right side. And here we go, 1v1 opportunity. Nolly gets denied by Mist. He just dives at that ball and says, "You're not even getting a shot attempt."
First Killer can't get over the top of Nolly. He will take out Chronic, gonna force everybody to reset. Apparently Jack trying to size it up. Chronic gets a perfect respawn though. In a great spot for it. Apparently Jack off the corner. They both get tied up in the corner. Chronic has to hit a worldie. It's gonna go all the way around the defender. They're gonna score with 19 left.
I really enjoy this one. As you see, Mist thinks the demo's coming through, so jumps up. Great fake there from apparently Jack rotating through the goal line to get Mist in the air and allow Chronic that opportunity at a shot on net to tie us up late.
That's what I'm talking about with that FaZe defense. How it says you have to make the perfect shot to beat us. Yes, Mist did get faked out, but if you look at the line that Chronic had to take to actually score that, that's a tough shot out of the corner. Nolly trying to get in First Killer's face. Apparently Jack almost gets it through him. Unfortunately, got a big bite taken out, and OT has arrived. Gen.G like to get things going back in their favor. They just throw one out into the middle in a dangerous spot, though. Cut across for Mist, and FaZe looking to start it and end it quickly in OT.
So far, 20 shots in this series. Big miss from apparently Jack, and typical. Didn't get a shot, but Mist will. And First Killer with a follow-up denied by Chronic. Great defense at the top of the box to come and take away the shooting lanes as typical. As the flip reset, denied by Nolly, but the offense going to continue here for FaZe Clan, and apparently Jack, Mist rotates on that, but Mist couldn't capitalize.
Look at these demos, and Chronic doing the smart thing and taking it immediately into a dribble. He knew he needed to buy time. Apparently Jack doesn't have a lot of boost. Tipped off to Chronic. Here comes the third man on the respawn. Nolly top corner. That's going to go into the net. Gen.G finally get a game.
Great follow-up shot here from Nolly. Thought this one might have rattled off of the crossbar, but far down and in. You ain't saving that. And Gen.G utilized that timeout to perfection, completely change their gameplay, and get the dub in doing so.
Whew. Close call, though. Overtime, no sure bet. A lot of good timed demos for FaZe Clan. Unfortunately, just weren't able to get the shots going. Apparently, Jack almost got caught out in the overtime, being too far over to the side, and had a beautiful half-flip recovery towards the net to make the save, but that was close. Gen.G could have easily been down 3 here, but they make the saves. They make the plays. They finally get the ball to go in the net.
With the amount of offense,
perfect shots, though,
that we saw in that series, it really didn't feel like we were going into OT and it was just 1-1. It felt like, what is this, 4-4, 5-5? But either way, great showing there from Gen.G to come out and say, okay, backs against the walls. Let's not put ourselves into an 0-3 hole. Let's come out, make use of that timeout. And it's really showing at the mindset that apparently Jack has. You know, I've always kind of touted him as being one of the toughest minds in Rocket League. Feels like he's such a hard worker. He goes into things, really wants to figure out his opponents, and that really shows in his 1v1 plays, right? But coming into this 3v3, figuring out what FaZe Clan was utilizing and how they were having success and how they could counter that, brilliant.
Great start on the road to a grand finals win. Mist going for a delayed touch. Chronic is tied up in all sorts of ways. Mist makes him dance.
Oh, put him on skates. Back on that post. Love the slowdown, but better center to put that ball right into the box. And First Killer puts FaZe Clan up early, but we've seen this happen before.
That was a juicy assist. They win the kickoff. Apparently, Jack, how do you get around First Killer? He's got such good timing, especially now in this regional. Chronic trying to slow everything down there, see if he can get him overcommitting high for the challenge. FaZe adjusting nicely, however. Apparently Jack getting shoved around. He will take out the biggest problem in Mist. Unfortunately for him, Typical and First Killer have been great supplementary defenders. Poke towards net. Missed on the respawn. First Killer securing his own corner boost. Doesn't want to give anything more than he has to. Ollie has no boost, and that means this is kind of awkward here for Gen.G. They're going to have to play this over their shoulders. And First Killer also going to send him to the demo yard.
And they're actually really lucky that they didn't get scored on then when... Oh, boy.
Right.
Oh, nice defense there from Nolly, but if Mist put any ounce of power behind that, that's a goal, as apparently Jack. Nice pass, but nobody was expecting that one as FaZe Clan. A little chaos on the back half. Chronic going to come through and man advantage. Apparently Jack can't catch up. That one a little too much power.
Good effort. Nolly down to Chronic. Kind of in an awkward spot. Doesn't really have any boost in the corner. Forced to just flick it towards the midfield. Apparently Jack, solid enough win, but how do you retain possession? Mist slows the pace of play a little bit with a trap. Chronic looking to get around First Killer. Nolly expecting a much stronger pass. Gives up the ball, and they will demo Typical on the way back just to kind of limit FaZe's options, and it will work.
That was an awkward play for Jack. He didn't know, is First Killer going to go for the demo? Is he going to go for the 1v1? And thankfully, he got the best 1v1er on Gen.G, holding down that back line as he chose correctly. And Chronic forced alone on an island. Can he get up in time? Yes, he can. And does he get the follow-up? Again, yes, he does, as Nolly going to carry this one forward. Has Jack waiting in the wings, but First Killer denies.
First Killer so aware there. He knows Mist is just trying to force that ball to a spot. If he wins it, he wins it. If he doesn't, it's going to be here. Typical twisting and twirling is going to make his way around the Gen.G defense. Jack, a little shake of the head, like, guys, that can't go in.
Oh, just spinning underneath that ball. Showing off for the fans. And FaZe Clan, confident, comfortable, cool, calm, collected here in game number 4. But still, plenty of time for Gen.G. But again, I'm going to go back to game 3. I want to see him get to work earlier rather than later.
Towards net, Chronic doesn't have time to grab the boost. We just kind of have to dump this forward and hope for the best. Maybe we'll be out of position and out of the play for a while. Opportunity for FaZe to extend the lead with a bump on. Apparently Jack has to dump it into his corner, get the boost stolen. Problems compounding here in terms of available support for Gen.G as they push with limited time. Another boost steal in the corner by First Killer. Floater into the midfield, and Nolly's not there because he didn't have boost.
Yeah, he just keeps finding himself without boost, and it's like he's focused on only gathering up those big boost pads. I'd love to see him just continue to keep that pressure, even if he's got 30 in the tank. Even if he's got 20, doesn't matter. At least force yourself onto a challenge, because a wide open shot coming from FaZe Clan generally going to end in disaster as First Killer denies that shot. Still, 75 seconds remain here. Game number 4. FaZe Clan up 2. Gen.G need 1 to feel good to try and tie this one up, but looks like shots not even going to come out for them.
Chronic into the middle. Apparently Jack, that was a lot to ask for to even get that one in between the posts. Typical gets it stolen away in the air. Nolly needs a lot of help. Unfortunately, can't really handle the ball the way it needs to be. Chronic down into the middle. First Killer right there for it. Apparently Jack in a wheel and sees Typical's already up. FaZe just wasting time off the clock at this point. Nolly to dribble again. Good effort.
Oh, nice.
Pop from apparently Jack.
Chronic.
It's Chronic. There's Typical. Goes straight down into the waiting hands of Mist. Another decent enough challenge, but unfortunately just don't have enough pieces at the right time to crack that FaZe wall.
Typical just palms that ball and swats it down to the ground and can't get the follow-up there, but I have been so impressed with Typical's play. And honestly, all of FaZe Clans, there's not one player lacking for them at the moment, and Jack can't even get a feel-good one as FaZe Clan gonna go up on match point in our grand finals of the Fall Open.
Huge show from FaZe. This does finally seem to be the stumbling block for Gen.G. Had one hiccup in their Friday qualifiers for this weekend, but in general looked pretty good across the board. And today, lights out against their opponent in the quarterfinals. Unfortunately here, it's FaZe Clan rushing to the finish line. No time to breathe for Gen.G, and you may start to look at the differences and say, you know, Gen.G are all great players, but there's something to be said about FaZe Clan have two rock-solid players in First Killer and Sypical who know what they're doing, they know what they're about, and this just has to slot himself in, whereas Gen.G are trying to compete and win a grand final with, to be honest, not even close to the same level of synergy. It's not even comparable. They don't have 365 days of experience with each other, you know what I mean?
Yeah, brand new squad. You know, all three players have never played with each other before where, yeah, you bring in Mist, but First Killer and Typical played together last season, obviously, and I'm sure they've played together in ranked or whatever you have it, but either way, right now, FaZe Clan, they're just,
oh boy.
Oh, nice save from Jack to get that one out, but FaZe Clan, they're not forcing anything. Whatever that ball is giving them on the field, they're just taking it and running with it, where it just feels like Gen.G continues to try and force the issue.
It does help that First Killer continuing to play out of his mind here in the grand final. Nolly, little poke towards the net. Typical times it well. Apparently Jack, just a floater. Hoping that maybe something good will come of it. Drop down in front. Mist is all over it. Read the bouncer perfectly. That's the other problem. You may be able to beat the first guy who's got a decent line on you, but the support defense of FaZe has just been phenomenal.
Great control there by Chronic. He got bumped by First Killer and was somehow able to maintain his composure, follow through on that touch on that ball, and get that clear all the way downfield. Great infield pass. Better shot, not able to be stopped. And apparently Jack puts Gen.G up one.
Try as you might, First Killer, you've been reading the game well. You saw this one coming, but that is tough to save. Faced in the wrong way, shots over both shoulders available, makes the cut to the big side of the net, and unfortunately gets it over the back shoulder. Could never stop it. Beautiful placement. As Gen.G going to call for a pause, it would appear. And we will get information to you guys regarding that as soon as we know what it is.
We will absolutely do that. And for Gen.G, you got to feel good there. Not only are you on the board first, but you're getting apparently Jack with his first goal of the series. And for this team to be successful, he has to be at the forefront of their offense. He has to be the one getting primarily all of the goals. I mean, obviously, Nolly and Chronic have their abilities, but the offensive powerhouse, you got to run everything through, apparently, Jack, in my mind. And right now, looks like they are figuring things out.
Just appeared to be a brief player disconnect from Chronic's end, but he is back, and we should get restarted pretty soon on that kickoff. So I don't think this pause should be particularly long. As Gen.G starting off with a banger there from apparently Jack, and took all everything they had really to finally break them down. Caught First Killer maybe edging forward a little too far forward. I think if he was any further back, he might actually make that save, but thankfully for them, Gen.G finally find a way to get through those goalposts and through that three-headed Hydra of the FaZe Clan defense, as we will jump back in to Game 5 of the Grand Finals.
And we need to see more of that from Gen.G. Not just infield passes, but passing plays in general to try and get someone from FaZe Clan to jump out of defense, because as we have seen, that three-headed Hydra on defense, nearly impossible to get past.
It goes back to what you were talking about, feeling like Gen.G maybe trying to force things a little bit too much on offense, and that's just a product of how FaZe are playing the ball. I mean, they are winning the ball a lot on some of the challenges.
What?
Gosh. That's almost in? Okay.
Kidding me.
I thought he put that in for a second.
I did too.
Oh, awkward.
Not good.
And that's what we're talking about. Like, apparently, Jack, he doesn't have another choice right there, and now he's trying to execute, find a way through, and the approach from FaZe Killer limits all the First Killer. That's twice now today. It limits all of their options as Mist just comes storming through. Gen.G kind of stutter on the goal line, and they get equalized.
And take note, because this is how you put the defense in a blender. They got him going from left to right, right to left, up and down, and got him dizzy. And FaZe Clan tie us right back up.
Timing very solid from FaZe on their approach. Apparently Jack needs a little help from his teammates to regain possession, and Mist just sits on that challenge, steal that corner boost again. FaZe more than happy to take away as many options as possible from Gen.G. First killer to himself off the ceiling, coming along at it was Mist as well, and this could be a chance, but unfortunately the ball's just not in a playable spot for anybody on Gen.G, and FaZe has all the time in the world to reset.
Oh, nice demo there from apparently Jack. Chronic launches it a little bit too high. If he puts that one on target, surely Gen.G goes up by 2, but missed there for the save off of his own crossbar. Gonna push this one right towards first killer. And I love how they're always looking forward for a teammate to get that clear downfield as opposed to just launching it and going for those booming clears.
Gen.G pressing here, typical. Out to the middle, and apparently Jack just a little too close, can't catch it cleanly. First killer steals away. Apparently Jack will double take the boost just to prevent FaZe from stealing it. Dumped into the middle, free ball here for Gen.G. Got to handle it well. Actually kind of drops it, and Typical's going to come pick his pocket and take it all the way to the bank.
Yeah, not the greatest touch at all from apparently Jack there. That one gets way too far in front of him. He needed a much softer touch, and just a perfect shot from Typical. Going far post and in, and more importantly, putting FaZe Clan up by 1. And might I remind you, they're on match point.
So FaZe have an option here. Only a minute and a half remaining. Could kind of sit a little bit further back, but does that give Gen.G too many chances? Because you have seen Gen.G make some excellent pushes towards your net. Sitting there camping on the back line may just be allowing a little too much. So do you take the risk here? As Typical, nice little floater towards the goal line. Apparently Jack ready and waiting. Actually, finally, somebody's through first killer, totally uncontested. As
great follow-up.
Jack, and there it is. Stall it out, waste the clock. Time management to a T for FaZe right now.
Oh, Chronic going up for that challenge, and all things considered, his first time ever being in a grand finals. Got to tip your cap over to Chronic, dealing with the pressure, dealing with all of the expectations coming in, and FaZe Clan just looking too good. But right now, here comes Chronic. Gen.G in tow. They need one to bring us into overtime. Typical denies, but Nolly keeps things alive. Gen.G, one last shot at getting this game all tied up.
Is to waste more time off the clock, jamming it here into this corner. Dumped out to the middle. Nolly has to hop over him. Typical pressing it hard and does not get the second touch. Apparently Jack to Chronic. There's Mist down to the floor. Typical kept it alive for whatever reason. FaZe wants to score one more. First killer will finish the fall open with an exclamation point, and FaZe Clan will win for a second year running the first regional of the season.
They are the Fall Kings right now. Great job to FaZe Clan taking down the Fall Open, and big smiles across all of their faces. And brings me so much joy to see this team succeed. There's been so many expectations put on them, especially first killer throughout the years, and to see him lock down that #1 spot, just say nothing but well done. And speaking of well done to this Gen.G team, coming in, brand new squad, less than 2 weeks old essentially, and making it all the way to our grand finals.
What a show indeed. I think Gen.G showed a lot of really great ideas here. Just could tell finally when they hit the grand finals, needed a little more time to figure it all out. Some hiccups in terms of where they were positioned on defense, kind of running into each other on the offense every now and again, and hamstringing the last man in some tight spots. But there's a lot to take away from they can execute. They have the ideas. I really do think that FaZe just played absolutely lights out defense here in this grand final, and that might be the biggest reason that this one didn't go longer. I think it easily could have been 5, maybe even 6, 7 games if FaZe wasn't playing that perfectly on defense.
Yeah, I mean, today there's nobody in North America that was beating this team. They took down G2, and after that happens, you just got to say, okay, well, looks like they're taking this one down. So we have to say congratulations again to FaZe Clan for taking this grand finals and taking the fall open all for theirs.
And that will close it out for Subi and myself. To have the desk break it down, let's go ahead and head back to Corelli.